perfect way. You no longer exist, you're no longer in my
Welcome to AfterMat, your source for WWE pay-per-view recap. I'm your host, the People's Champ Cal, and alongside me, as always, I have my tag team partner, the Glamazon Delisha. What is going on, Delisha?
Hello. Another Monday, another recap.
Delisha is accompanied by her valet, or superstar in training, Rose. We already have Mandy Rose, though, so we gotta think of another name for her. Welcome, Skye. Welcome, Will. Thank you for joining us here. Tonight we'll be discussing Hell in a Cell 2022. The second episode, I guess, of the season for us since we started with Backlash. And when I was thinking about the matches, well, first of all, I know we discussed it prior to the it starting, but we said how like neither of us were really excited about the pay-per-view. Like when we were divvying up the matches, like as always, I only really care about the Edge and AJ matches usually because that's for me. With a lot of my superstars kind of out or not really being around, there's not much I can get behind, right? Like, because Alexa Bliss hasn't been on the pay-per-view for a while and all that kind of stuff. So it's been tough for me to like really get behind anything because I feel like there hasn't been much for for me to get behind and enjoy. So I know when we were divvying up the matches, we were like we really don't care either way. So you're like, I'll take these and I'll leave you with these, and I'm like, that's fine. It doesn't really matter to me. But I did realize though, like last night, like as I was thinking, like a lot of these were also like WrestleMania recaps or Backlash recaps, right? Like I felt like a lot of these, like or some modification of it, but in essence, it was those rematches in a way. So like I don't think there was like really any new original matches, or was there? I'm trying to think.
I think the only one pay-per-view premium live event wise probably would have been Austin Theory
Oh,
versus
right. That's like the only one because otherwise there was some variation of that type of match either at WrestleMania or WrestleMania Backlash, which Backlash usually piggybacks.
we talk about Cody and stuff being this is their third match in a row. I believe this was also Lashley and almost. I mean,
Yeah,
technically it was involved, so it's not their third one-on-one match, but it feels like the seventh based off the stuff that they
right.
had on Raw and stuff. So
And Will's already chiming in saying that he actually thought this paper was good but not perfect. But we'll get into that in a second. But so we already talked about how we didn't really think the card was that good, but like at the end of the night, obviously without giving away your grades and all that, how did you feel? Did you feel satisfied with the pay-per-view? Did you feel like you wanted more from it, or did you feel like you were like you got what you expected because you weren't really that enthused going into it?
yeah, I got what I expected because I this pay-per-view had a low bar to cross, and I think on an overall sense, it did what I thought it was gonna do. Like there were two matches that I were intrigued about, and one that I was like, "Oh, this could be something," and then the others are just like, "I don't really care about this at all." Which of course, we'll get into once we do our official like recap of the match card. But yeah, the pay-per-view did what I thought it was gonna do.
Right. So yeah, I agree. Like I wasn't looking forward to anything, but there were some matches that I thought weren't going to be that great. Especially knowing going into the match what was happening, but it actually, it kind of step over the bar a little bit maybe for me. So let's go ahead and start with the first match, which is for the Raw Women's Championship, featuring the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair against Asuka against Becky Lynch.
Yeah. So I mean, much like any triple threat match, we know the formula. Everyone's gonna get their turn to be the dominant one of the match, or someone's gonna lay out on the edge of the ring so that we can get that one-on-one for a few moments. And in the beginning stages, and pretty much throughout this match, Asuka was the more kind of like the imposing figure, while Lynch was kind of like the chaser of the three, while Bianca was the one being the resilient one. But Asuka, they tried to get rid of Bianca, like I said, to be kind of like on the outside of things. As really pretty much how this feud built up was more like between Lynch and Asuka, with Bianca being on the outskirts, which is weird because she's the champion. But we almost crowned the new champion because after Lynch landing a guillotine leg drop on Belair from the middle rope, but it was broken up by Asuka, so of course, so that wouldn't happen. Who also almost got a near pinfall back off of Lynch after giving her some impressive strikes. But actually, and then for a while became the man show, so to speak, as she kept uh going after Bianca with type off the leg off the top rope. And then, of course, as I was mentioning earlier, everyone's going to get their shot. With Asuka landing in her hard hitting like kick strikes and arm arm strikes to both opponents to try to either take them out or just to disengage them to not get the pinfall. Then we had Belair getting her turn pretty much near that last gasp of the match. I think they gave them a good 15, almost 20 minutes to open up this match as well. With this Belair doing a standing moonsault that nearly pinned both Asuka and Lynch, but of course someone would kick out, breaking it up. It did. I think I couldn't remember what this move was called. I think it was called like the Tower of Doom, as they were kind of like teasing them about to do it. But Belair would like do a backflip off the rope, and then Asuka would hit. I'm just gonna call it Codebreaker because I don't know what the actual name of the move is. To Asuka and also to Lynch, and then give them both the Shining Lizard. And then I believe at this point that's when she put them both in the a double ankle lock to try to get them someone to tap so that she could get the title. But no, sorry, but no can do. And then Becky would go on and give the manhandle slam to Belair, but then Asuka would break that up. Then she would give the manhandle slam to Asuka, trying to go for the pin, almost getting the 1-2-3, but Bianca would jump in at the last second to throw Lynch outside the ring and get the pin on Asuka and retaining her title. But all in all, I think it was a pretty good match. I think all three of them showcased all their strengths in this match. As like I said earlier, that's what Triple Threat was going to do. The right person won. I do still think it was too early to take the belt off of Bianca. The downfall is that, like I was saying, the build up to this match was focused on Lynch and Asuka, so it didn't really feel like this was a Bianca Belair feud match to have for this card, that was sort of like the downfall for me, is that it just didn't feel like this was supposed to be like a Bianca Belair Asuka Lynch match, which I also thought would have been fun if this was also in the cell, but they didn't go that route. Usually we get to cell matches, but this time they decided not to go that route. But overall, I thought the match was pretty good. These ladies, I mean, honestly, I don't know how these three can have a bad match, especially if you put them all three together. But I do think it was a good jumping off point for the pay per view. I think I tweeted that too, or either put that in the group chat, that this was a really good start to the match and made me proud.
Yeah, so I told you earlier, I'm gonna tell you guys now in the here aftermath. I was not very focused on the pay per view. Like I was really down going to the pay per view because I didn't feel like it was that good of a pay per view on paper. But I feel like this. I did catch some like when I hear like the announcers' voices go like crescendo. I look at the screen, and I did notice in this case like there were some good moments. Like I saw a lot of KOD attempts by Bianca Belair. I saw the double ankle lock, and I saw the match end. So I feel like I'm going to go back and watch this match like more thoroughly because the way you explained it and described it, it sounded really good. So I don't really have anything to criticize about the match, but I do have a critique about criticism, I should say, not even critique, a criticism about the pay-per-view. Alicia, what is the pay-per-view called?
Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell, right? How many Hell in a Cell matches do they have?
One.
So why are any other pay-per-views that have one Hell in a Cell match not called Hell in a Cell also? right? You know what I mean? Like why? Like how is this different from? Why is this called Hell in a Cell? If there's other pay-per-views that have Hell in a Cell. Hell, I think there's even been a Raw with a Hell in a Cell once in ever. But whatever. You know, like what I mean? Like if it's called Hell in a Cell, try to showcase like Skye said one too. Yeah, Skye said. So I was saying like try to showcase the actual name of the pay-per-view, right? This match would have been beautiful in a Hell in a Cell, right? If you bookended because only the main event was in a Hell in a Cell. But if you bookended the night with Hell in a Cell matches, that would have been amazing. They should have done that. When they first
done that in the past.
Right? Yeah, they've done it in the past. They should have done it. I don't know if they're pulling it back from the women or not, which is like sucky, especially when you got these three amazing athletes. But no, like they should have done. That's what they should have done. If you remember when they first introduced these concepts of these gimmick pay-per-views being the name of the pay-per-view, because like Hell in a Cell wasn't really the name of the pay-per-view until it became the name of the pay-per-view. You get what I mean? So when they did like TLC and like Hell in a Cell and like all that kind of stuff, like they made every match or the majority of the matches in the cell or TLC matches or whatever it was. You know, that's what they did. Then they started dialing back down, saying, "Oh, this is too much. It's kind of taking away the mystique." But like, at least have at least 2 to 3 matches in the cell to call it that pay-per-view. That's what I think.
I can understand not wanting to put more than I guess 2. I don't think we ever had more than 2 at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Because then, like you said, you do get tired of it, and then it kind of loses its brutality, so to speak. Because these matches are supposed to be some like a little bit long-winded matches, like that your 15-20 minute matches. Which is why I was like, yeah, they could have bookended it here like they usually do. Because there's usually either like a women's match or the other brand SmackDown or Raw, whatever's matched, be in Hell in a Cell as well. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it would have been nice to see the ladies in the cell just to not. It wouldn't be counter programming to Steph versus Cody, but it would have been a little bit because it would be a different style.
Or what they could have done is, if they're worried about like setup and takedown or whatever, make it the last 2 matches. That's Hell in a Cell. Just bring it down for the second to last match and leave it out there, and then just do some tweaks in between the match. That's all they gotta do. But I think
they have enough video package that they could use.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like they really dropped the ball with the pay-per-view itself overall because of only one Hell in a Cell. But that's me. That's what, so. Like I said, I gotta go back and watch this match. My critique was actually on the pay-per-view itself because I felt like this would have really benefited from being a Hell in a Cell, especially with the athleticism that was in the ring. That's all I gotta say. I feel like from here, we have Money in the Bank coming up. Therefore, you know, I'm guessing Asuka and Becky Lynch will both probably be in the Money in the Bank since they're very low on the type of women that would put into the Money in the Bank match. Possibly, you know, what do they put in 8 nowadays? So I see Asuka, Becky, Liv, Rhea. That's 4 right there, right?
Yeah.
And is that all Raw people? I'm assuming I just named.
Yeah, that was. And
not that it matters.
You'll probably get Raquel Rodriguez from SmackDown, and pretty much both rosters because that's what they pretty much only have about 6 women.
Yeah, so like I feel like then it's probably gonna be like someone like
maybe Alexa. That could be her title.
Yeah, Alexa could be another person.
Yeah.
What's that? Natalia's probably they always end up throwing Natalia and Tamina in it for no reason, kind of thing. Maybe they'll throw in an NXT person. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. When's Money in the Bank?
July 2nd, so a month from like last week.
Okay, so because we're supposed to get Natty versus Ronda at a featured date, so to speak. So that might happen at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view if they didn't get a match on this pay-per-view.
And welcome Anna. What I think could happen is they had Natalia kind of like a screw almost win, but not like maybe like time runs out or something. I don't think that's gonna happen, or like a counter or something. So then she'll try to be very determined to win the Money in the Bank to go for the championship at SummerSlam and get very close and maybe not get the Money in the Bank. And then it'll end up being a SummerSlam match. But I'd rather see like Shayna versus Ronda at SummerSlam or something like that. I'd definitely see that match too. I mean, I can actually see like maybe Shayna winning. That'd be cool, and then
No offense to Natty, but I don't care.
And cashing in at SummerSlam, and then like she's like, I've waited too long to get this opportunity. I'm not waiting any longer. Let me cash this in at SummerSlam and say get a match against Ronda, and then have Becky or whatever or Asuka fight at I don't know whatever's gonna happen. But SummerSlam's gonna be a bigger pay-per-view. The next
Mhm.
the next match is Almost and MVP versus Bobby Lashley in a handicap. Right? I think
Yeah. So we kind of had almost kind of trying to intimidate Lashley right off the bat. Although I don't know why he would try to. Again, Lashley has not been intimidated the last 10,000 times they've went face to face. So I don't know why he thought this would be different. But MVP would get the tag in first to be on the actual offense or defense, depending on how you're looking at it. To Lashley. Um, although, of course, with Lashley being the stronger opponent, tore MVP to shreds, and it took both him and Almost to try to get them down for the pin, but didn't happen. At one point, because Almost is a giant, we had to send Lashley through the barricade with I guess, a tackle. Um, but he managed to beat the 10 count because he is the Almighty for a reason. And then a kind of a WTF moment for me, we get Cedric Alexander out of nowhere interfering on Lashley's behalf after, I guess, well, technically earlier in the pay-per-view, MVP brushed him off backstage because because Cedric just keep trying to bring back the Hurt Business. And so with that distraction, um, he got MVP in the Hurt Lock for the win. Um, this was the match that I had the lowest of lows of bars for it to go, and as long as Lashley won, the match was a success to me. That was it.
Yeah, so I didn't actually. I saw the spear through the barricade. I saw that, whatever it was, like the shoulder tackle through the barricade. I saw that part, and then I saw the Hurt Lock put on. I didn't even know Cedric Alexander came out. I saw that like they had a backstage segment with Bobby Lashley and Cedric Alexander, but I had no idea that he came out. So I guess that's cool.
Yeah.
Um, um, what are they doing? Like what? Like see, like, okay, Bobby Lashley, I get it, Almighty, but like Amos is supposed to be this unbeatable force, and now he can't win with a partner in a 2-on-1 handicap match.
Yeah.
Like what are they doing? Kind of thing, like. And it's not like a screw. I mean, like I know MVP's a little bit older now and stuff like that, but he was a former champion and stuff like that. And he is the one who took the loss on it, right? He's the one who got
Yeah.
not like even tap out, just out whatever, got choked out, or not even choked out, because of a choke. You know what I mean? Like like
I know what you mean.
he was out by the submission. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't tell you about this
Like I
match.
said, I do get that Almost was supposed to be this giant, but he's booked as this strong, like indestructible force that the guy can't move. So he's so limited in what he can do that you can't really push him that far because he gets exposed each and every time.
That's why he needs someone like Big Show. So if Big Show was around to show him how to be like a real giant. But I know Kevin Nash worked with him, but Kevin Nash was more very slow and methodical, like how Roman Reigns is now with his attack. Whereas Omos is just not good. He plays to the crowd too much. He doesn't have anything to play to the crowd for. He hasn't done anything impressive. But that's all I have to say about that. Match was not
They
good.
should have just had him be a part of Lashley and MVP instead of against them. But
Well,
we're not that. That's neither here nor there now. We're past that.
in
At this point.
in true AfterMat fashion, the next match is also a deletion match, which featured Elias's younger brother Ezekiel against Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I almost lost my marbles when Ezekiel did like a flying knee and then a top elbow drop for a near 3 count. I probably would have turned. Oh, I wouldn't have turned it off because we have the recap. But if they would have like KO come out like that, but no, we didn't. Owens then went off to show off his athleticism because KO is one of the goats, and I would not hear anything other than that. Um, with I think he was like a springboard moonsault off the top rope from Kevin Owens. Like man, like every time I feel like Kevin Owens is getting like a dip down, he just does something. He'd be like, "Nope, you're still gonna remember my name." But his continuous obsession with trying to get Ezekiel to prove that he is Elias, kind of was a distraction for himself. So you can that was like the the underlying distraction instead of a physical distraction for this match. But Ezekiel was showing some good movesets on his own with flashes from the corner and like a spine buster and like flying knees and a what are you doing? Some super kicks and whatever. Oh no, and yeah, just like a different like moveset just to show that he is different than his quote unquote brother Elias. And then, but as all is right with the world, we get a super kick and then like a cannonball like stunner from Owens to get the pin for KO to win. So I mean, I think that was the right choice. But without Kevin Owens, I really don't know where this feud goes from here. Which is again, we got a pretty solid match, but the downfall is it was almost like, what was the point? It was so she's so upset about it.
Yeah, so for me, like, yeah, I really turned away from much. I saw the elbow drop, so I don't know if he's paying homage to Randy Macho Man Savage or not, but I saw the cannonball and all that kind of stuff. So I saw the good moments the entire time. Like Owens was saying, like, you're not. I mean, you're Elias, which he's clearly not. Like, I don't know why he gets confused. And I feel it's right that Kevin Owens won. The only way I can see Kevin Owens losing is if actually Elias got on the camera on the Titantron or whatever and started having a conversation with Kevin Owens, distracting him, which allowed Ezekiel to get the pin. But I guess Elias wasn't available that night to distract Kevin Owens. I thought that would have been really well done if they did, but they did not. And good for Kevin Owens to win. I don't know what they can do with Ezekiel now. Maybe he'll fall to the back like Elias did. But I guess we'll see. The next match was a 6-person intergender tag team match featuring the modern day Bullet Club, I should say, with AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan against the stupidest name table, Judgment Day, featuring Edge, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley with her new ring gear. But as you learn, it's not really her new ring gear. It's just that her old ring gear was not sent or something. It was like lost in the thing. Like it's like the second time or third time that's happened to her, which really sucks for her. But still, she had a cool look, and that's awesome that people really liked it. Because I think her outfit was trending on Twitter. Anyway, the match started out just in complete chaos as all 6 competitors started going off at each other. And it pretty much went like that until like Damian Priest and Edge were thrown out of the ring, and then AJ and Finn assisted Liv Morgan by throwing her up in the air onto Rhea Ripley and doing an assisted Hurricanrana. But then obviously Rhea Ripley, being the powerhouse that she is, was able to take control again. And the cool part was like Liv Morgan was a house of fire, but it was quickly stymied by a huge headbutt by Rhea Ripley, which looked really good on TV. So I really liked how that looked. I don't know if anyone got hurt from that, but it looked really good. Then she hit the delayed vertical suplex where she like got the crowd into it, and like was saying like even Edge and Damian Priest were like, wow, look at this woman, like she's doing an amazing job. Basically, Liv was dominating for a long time until she was able to wiggle away and finally tag in AJ Styles. AJ Styles and then Damian Priest went on it for a while, and then AJ's team took quick advantage of a bunch of tags over and over. And but you know, obviously, Edge's faction being the heel team, they did some devious tactics to stay out of it. Edge then played to the crowd while beating up on Finn Balor. Then Edge, Finn was very close to getting the tag to AJ, I believe it was, but then Edge did like a face buster or whatever you want to call it, an Edge-O-Matic, or I don't know what you call it. There's always different moves for all his moves. And then they kept working. Then they kept working on Finn Balor, so he couldn't get the tag. But eventually, he was able to make a hot tag to AJ Styles. AJ just came in and hit a bunch of he went on an assault and knocked out, like, I think, Damian Priest for a second. I don't think he went after Rhea Ripley. He got Edge on the ground, started to call for the phenomenal forearm, but Damian Priest distracted him again. No, I think he actually hit it, but Damian Priest broke up the pin. That's what happened. Then they all got into the ring again and started fighting. I think Rhea Ripley just kept beating on Liv, but Liv just kept coming back at Rhea. I think they all hit a suicide dive to the outside on the Judgment Day. And then Finn went for the coup de grace, but the thing that he was distracted the first time. The second time, I think Edge might have rolled out of it. No. The second time, Edge hit a spear because he was distracted, and then Edge hit a spear, and then got the pin. 1, 2, 3, and Judgment Day or whatever. There was a lot of going on, and it was like a lot to watch. But at the end of the day, Judgment Day won. And I mean, I don't think the Bullet Club looked weak at all. It was just a really good match overall. And Liv Morgan got to shine for a lot of it against a bigger, stronger woman. And it was just really cool, I thought, overall. What about you, Delisha?
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty solid match. This was the one I thought had like the potential to be like really good because of the people who were all involved. And I read somewhere that this was the first time that AJ successfully got the Phenomenal Forearm onto Edge, I think either since WrestleMania or since before WrestleMania. So I was like, oh, that's a little minute little story detail that's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm still interested in like this whole like Judgment Day faction. On the other hand, AJ's crew keeps losing. So um obviously this is by design, obviously, but it's like it's almost kind of like, okay, well, what are we going with this? Or is someone, either whether it be AJ or Finn or even Liv, get so frustrated they just join Judgment Day? Or do they bring in another person to outnumber Judgment Day to get the upper? I don't know. It's just somehow they, because this is obviously not going to be over, because somehow they got to start winning.
What I like about this is that they're all getting shine, right? They're all getting time to shine, which is great.
Yeah.
Like all of them, and this is like these are, if anybody in the company deserves it, it's these 6 individuals. So I'm glad that they're all getting spotlight moments in the match, as well as even like on Raws and promos, right? They're all getting some good time. So that's what I like to see. And this is a feud I don't mind still going. You know how we're getting tired of like Omos and Lashley. This is like a very organic feud. Maybe because they're very good on the mic, they work well together. I feel like it's going very well. After a while, I think a bunch of us even got tired of the Wyatt family versus Shield and stuff like that, or Evolution, the Wyatt Shield, all that. It was got annoying after a little while, right? For this, I feel like it's like you're waiting for that, like the other shoe to drop, like kind of thing. Like something's gonna happen, and we're waiting, whether it be an AJ turn, a Liv turn, Finn turn, or just another member. We're waiting for that. What would be really cool? Oh man, if I say this and it happens, like Vince McMahon should just hire me. Let's say Judgment Day. Too many days. That's why they should just call them Judgment. Judgment Day. Let's say they get Tommaso Ciampa, right? This would have to have the feud go to Survivor Series, which would be really, really long, right? But let's say we do it at SummerSlam instead. Okay. Let's say they get Tommaso Ciampa as their 4th member, right? And then the other team called the Bullet Club or whatever.
They don't officially have a name yet.
Right.
That's why.
But whatever they're gonna call it something day. Bullet Day. Bullet Day. Bullet Day is gonna be like, we'll meet you at SummerSlam in a 4-on-4 match. And I was like, who's their 4th member? Who's their 4th member? Who do you think the 4th member is gonna be? In my booking.
Oh,
so Judgment Day has Edge, Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, and Tommaso Ciampa. Bullet Day has AJ Styles, Finn Balor, Liv Morgan. Who do you think the 4th member is going to be? According to my book.
Yeah. It's funny, you ask me question, my brain is like, I'm not going to give you a single name of a wrestler ever. I'm literally trying to go through the Raw roster and like my brain.
Not on the Raw roster.
Oh.
Remember, I don't even know rosters. So.
Oh, that's true. Are you just gonna put oh my gosh. Why won't his name come to mind? I don't know. Who?
Johnny Wrestling himself, Johnny Gargano, would be the 4th member of Bullet Day, and that would be a cool match. And then that's the time that the Bullet Day finally beats Judgment Day at SummerSlam in a 4-on-4 match with their surprise fourth member, Johnny Gargano.
Now that would be interesting.
So Vince McMahon, if you take that idea, just hire me now. I book it really well. So, all right, moving on to the next match. So, in not true AfterMat fashion, we're actually breaking up the matches. Now it's Alicia's match, Happy Corbin, or whatever his name is now, against...
It's still Happy Corbin.
Or Madcap. Oh, yeah, Happy Corbin against whatever his name is now. Madcap Moss, or Moss.
I'm calling him Madcap.
Okay.
Well, he's not the jokester for Corbin anymore. He's more serious, which is why we're unclear why they're still calling him Madcap Moss. Anyway, they immediately, because they're supposedly hating each other now, they showcase that right off the bat, with Corbin giving him a choke slam onto the ring apron. You know, it's the hardest part of the ring, guys. Don't ever forget that. And then he kept provoking the crowd by repeatedly giving Moss shots with the steel chair, and then sticking with the storyline of how he injured his neck, hitting him in the back of the neck with the chair, and then he throw that chair away, go grab another one, and then try to dig it into Moss's throat. But the crowd was very into it because they were being participants of the crowd, calling Corbin an asshole, and cheering for Moss as he ducked out of the way, while Corbin was running at him with another chair. And of course, when you have any type of weapon in the ring, we're going to get the "we want tables" chants. But again, apparently this was a chair match because that's what Moss went for instead. But giving him repeated shots to Corbin to the back and his chest, and then giving him a DDT on the chair. Why didn't they just call it? This is supposed to be a no holds barred match. They might as well just call it a chair match. Honestly, the chairs were the MVP.
I'm about to get into this. Here's where.
While they were still on the ringside, Corbin put the chair around Madcap's neck and then tossed him into the announcer's table. And I think it was he gave him an endo days. Excuse me. But to put, almost trying to get them on into the corner, but Moss was able to get out of it, and he picked up Corbin and tossed him to the steps instead. And then, as ultimate revenge from storyline, he did the same thing that Corbin did to him by putting the chair around his neck and putting the
steel steps
on. Yeah, I was like, I thought he was. Anyway, he put the steps onto the chair and pinning him, giving him the win, which obviously he should have won in this case because it's supposed to be his revenge match. It was not bad, honestly. Do I think it was must see premium live event worthy? No. But a solid match with some story behind it because they've been doing this for the last couple of weeks. So this is probably one of the most outside of Steph and Cody, and I guess Judgment Day and Bullet Day. I'm gonna call them that now too until we get an official name. They were the most built-in storyline for this pay-per-view. Again, I'm not sure why we're still calling him Madcap because that's supposed to be a jokester because he was the jester or jokester to Happy Corbin's persona. So I don't know if they're just gonna keep it that way or if they will change it in the future since he's all in the black trunks now and serious, no longer telling jokes. But I mean, all in all, it was pretty solid. So, but was this one of the matches did you see? And if so, what did you think of this chair match at Hell in a Cell?
Okay, so I did not see any part of this match except for the replay at the end when they showed him slamming the thing on. That's how I knew Madcap won. That's the only part I watched. Now, to get into that thing where you call it a chair match, they call it a no holds bar match. So I gotta ask you questions because you actually watched the match. Was there a pile driver?
No.
Was there a vertebrae?
I don't think so.
Was there a choke with the camera wire?
No.
So why is this a no holds barred match? Why do they call Vince McMahon is such a stickler for words, right? You can't call a championship title title, right? You gotta call it a championship. You can't call it a belt. You can't call it a strap. You have to call it a championship, right? He's such a stickler for words. So why have a no-holds-barred match where they don't do any moves that are barred, right? So, like, if I was someone like a big-name wrestler, like, I don't know, like a Stone Cold or a Rock or a Cena even, I would start just doing pile drivers and burner breakers and doing all these moves that are barred from being done because of injuries and doing them, because then why is it called a no-holds-barred match if you're not doing moves that are barred, right?
Yeah,
so
just call it
a no DQ. Thank you. So that they should either forever get rid of that title. I mean, not that title, but I mean like the name of the match, the title of the match. Forever get rid of that and just call it a no DQ match, or allow them to do moves that are barred just in that match, because that would make it even more special, right? If they had a no holds barred match and they actually did moves that were barred, you know, maybe with some of the safer wrestlers like Baron Corbin, who's notoriously known for being extremely safe in the ring, right? Granted, that could cause an injury, so you wouldn't want to do it. So then stop calling it a no holds barred.
Yeah, I don't remember what the actual move is called. But remember when I think it was storyline wise, not actually barred, but the Undertaker's Hell's Gates. Is that a triangle chokehold? Is that
it's like a triangle choke a gogoplata, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, remember when they quote unquote barred that?
Oh.
Sorry, that made me think of that for a while, and how. But I mean, yeah, you're right. Like, we should just get rid of the like a quote unquote no holds barred stipulation and just elevate it and just do a really good no DQ match.
I promise you, I'm making this promise now here and after, because I'm such a blunt person. If I ever meet Vince McMahon or Stephanie or any of the people who are involved in WWE, that is the one advice I'm going to give. I promise you, on this day in AfterMat, on June 6th, 2022, right now, I'm going to tell you that if I ever meet any of those people who are in charge, I'm going to tell them get rid of the no holds barred match. Because they don't do it. Or let them do it. That will make the match even more. You know what Vince will say to me? Vince will be like, "Oh, they're allowed to do the match. They just don't do it. They're trying to be safe." That's what he's gonna say to me. Like, they're allowed to do the match, but you know, in the essence, he really told him to do it. He's gonna say, "Do it." Just don't do it. Yeah. He told him. All right. That brings us to our penultimate match, which was very, very good match, featuring United States Championship match, United States Championship Austin Theory against the hometown hero, which I had no idea. Like, why is he wearing? Okay, well, against a hometown hero, Mustafa Ali, who's now Mustafa Ali again, not just Ali. Great. So I didn't know he was a hometown hero. I didn't know he was Chicago. I didn't even know the pay-per-view or premium event was taking place in Chicago. So, but when I saw his Chicago or Second City flag on his pants, I'm like, wait, is he from Chicago? Are they in Chicago? So that's when I found out. Turns out his wife and kids are also in the audience. I didn't
know that part, but
yeah,
it makes sense now.
Yeah, so his wife and kids were in the audience. But yeah, okay. So this took place in Chicago, and he was the hometown hero. So the crowd was really behind him, not to the level of CM Punk Money in the Bank against John Cena behind him, but they were behind him. So he got the crowd pumped up. He actually took Theory, but I like Austin. He took Austin Theory to the outside and started working on him, but then Austin Theory quickly reversed it into a fall-away slam and got the crowd involved by taunting them and hit a great fall-away slam on Ali. Throughout the match, it was just very, very, very good wrestling. Very sharp moves, good counters. However, the one counter that came to be maybe Ali's downfall is when he did a backflip off the turnbuckle or whatever and injured his knee. Right? So that was good. I mean, it's good for story. Like, Alicia loves her story in the ring. This was great for story. And Theory obviously capitalized on it because he started hitting, kicking at the knee, and later on the match he'll win the match by doing something. But he's working on that knee because as Ali sold it well, as a heel it does, or any smart wrestler does, they go after the boom. The one big point of the match was when it could have been a mistake, but I mean this part was supposed to happen. Austin Theory hit a modified springboard Spanish fly off the top rope, where he just jumped straight from the ring, springboarded off the top rope, and hit a Spanish fly. But Spanish fly usually lands on a rock bottom position, the side, or a side slam position. But he actually landed on top of Ali, but he worked it into the moveset because then he started punching on him afterwards. So it made it look, so it could have been a mistake, but if it wasn't, that was done really well still. But even if it was a mistake, he still right away picked up on that. Anyway, Ali got back into the match, hit an STF on Theory. Theory was about to tap out. Theory was able to get to the ropes. What do you call it? Oh, then Ali went for the 450, right? Because that's his finishing move, I believe. But what's his face? Theory rolled out of the way, then hit a chop block on the wounded knee of Ali and hit the, I guess that's the 8 count down move. It was just kind of like a GTS in a way. It's like a swinging neck. It puts him up in the fireman's carry into a swinging neck breaker into a face buster. So it's kind of like a GTS in a way. Got the 1-2-3 and retained his championship. And all in all, it was just probably maybe in my opinion, probably the match of the night. I think another match could have been the match of the night. 3 other matches could have been the match of the night. But this, I think, really brought me back into the pay-per-view. As much as I love AJ, the Judgment Day, and the New Day, Bullet Day, this match really, like, I'm not really a fan of either of these. I was excited when Ali was like getting his push until he got injured, unfortunately. And then for that we had Kofi Mania, so there was some good out of that. But I liked his character when he came out with like the Sub-Zero outfit. That was pretty dope. And then when he became like racist Ali or whatever, like the un-American Ali, I hated that thing. I hate when they do that with Arab wrestlers, or wrestlers of Arab descent, at least. He's probably. But anyway, or Chicago. Anyway, and then they made him the Retribution leader, which was stupid too. Like this is like the old roots Ali, which I like to see. But I wish he came out with a thing. Maybe he did come out with that. I didn't notice it. But he comes out with his Sub-Zero outfit. But this match like really stole the show for me. It really brought me back in. Whereas this is usually the bathroom break match. This might have been the best match of the night. Alicia, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. These two are really talented. I mean, we are probably all already knew that with Ali, but I feel like some of the fans still kind of took Theory for granted because he's kind of been like the quote unquote the new chosen one
Right.
for McMahon. I think they probably disregarded his actual talent in the ring. But these two, like you said, this contender for match of the night for a lot of people, and the they have really good chemistry in the ring as well. I've been noticing just from this match and a couple times they've been on Raw as well. It sucks for Ali because like you really want him to get a push, especially after all he's like been through and like trying to get his release and then being brought back into the fold. I guess with some sort of promise that he would have something for him to do. But kind of want to know like, well, where does he go from here now? He had the big title match and he lost pretty much cleanly. There wasn't any like funny business going on with this match. So it's like, as long as he doesn't get thrown into the 24/7 title scene, I think he might be alright.
Yeah, I think this is great. I think this is what you brought. Imagine this match in the Hell in a Cell. That would be. The final match of the evening was a third time ever had a match featuring Dustin Rhodes? Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins in a actual Hell in a Cell match, which unfortunately of all the matches to have Hell in a Cell, this would have been the best to have, obviously. However, prior to the match, we know that Cody tore his pec and partial bicep, whatever. But he still wanted to wrestle, which is very not smart in one of the probably most brutal matches you could be in. So knowing that, I might have made the women's match a Hell in a Cell because they couldn't take full advantage of the Hell in a Cell, like climbing a cell and all that kind of stuff, because of Cody's injury. They should have moved the Hell in a Cell match to another match. Because, it's always card subject to change. This was, like Will said, the mind game started early because much like Seth Rollins coming out in the old Shield gear when he faced Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins this time came out in the Dusty Rhodes outfit, kind of mocking Cody's father. As soon as Cody took off his jacket, you saw the giant purple and red bruise down his chest and onto his bicep, and it was crazy. I sent that picture to people who were going to watch wrestling, and they're like, "Wow, that is insane. Is that real?" I'm like, "Yeah, that." Um, basically, Seth Rollins went after that injury the entire time. They couldn't really put on the show that they probably wanted to put on, obviously, because of the injury. But, this guy, Cody, went all out for what he had going for. Like, Rollins hit him with tender sticks in that area, prodded a tender stick into that area. Seth Rollins even put on Cody Rhodes' jacket and started strutting around, mocking him and stuff like that. Eventually, Cody Rhodes he did start off on fire because he did hit a disaster kick and then a Cody cutter. But then after that, it was pretty much all Seth Rollins until Cody did get the advantage. He was able to go underneath the ring and grab. Well, I think first, what did Cody went? Rollins went under the rope ring and got something. What did he get? Oh, what did he got? Rollins was the first to go under the ring and he got something. I forgot what it was. You remember? Strap, a belt. It was a belt in the Dusty Rhodes colors, but it said Visionary on it. And he started whipping Cody with it. Then Cody went under the ring and eventually got a bull rope with a cowbell, put the strap on his wrist, told Seth to put it on, which he did, and they went at it. They went at it like the old school Dusty Rhodes match, and it was pretty cool to see. Eventually, Cody couldn't hold his own for a while, and Rollins did get the advantage, and then he untangled himself, untied Cody, ended up getting a sledgehammer from underneath the ropes, but was not able to hit Cody at all. From what I remember, he actually went for a crossroads. Cody kicked out. Cody came back with like 2 more crossroads. Rollins kicked out. Cody hit a pedigree. Rollins kicked out. I think Rollins hit a curb stomp. Cody kicked the stomp. Cody kicked out. It was just great back and forth. Then finally at the end, Cody hit 2 crossroads. Before going for a third, he picked up the sledgehammer, hit Rollins with it, and then got the pin and just soaked in the moment, winning 3 in a row against Seth Rollins, and in dominating fashion, in a way, I guess, think about it, with an injury. Kudos to Cody for going on with it. He shouldn't have gone on with it. A lot of people shouldn't have gone on with it. They should have moved the women's match to the main event and made that in the Hell in a Cell. But Cody wants to show he is business. He is going to take whatever he can to get to the top of the pedestal, and he deserves it. After all that, I'm not really big of a Cody fan, but he I remember getting injured in softball, like hurting my rotator cuff. I couldn't lift my arm this much, not crying, but I was fan or anything. I had to take 2 weeks off the season. He tore his pec and wrestled a Hell in a Cell match. Was it a Hell in a Cell match? Not really. It was just a match. It was a no holds barred match. Think about it. The way they call no holds barred. It was basically a no DQ match. They didn't really use the Hell in a Cell for obvious reasons. Therefore, that's why I said they should have moved that Hell in a Cell match to something else, because that would have been. Alicia?
Yeah, they went as brutal as they could given Cody's condition. I forget the name, but there was a sports medicine doctor who did weigh in, saying that because it was a complete tear, the most damage that he could have done was already done, so he couldn't have damaged it even further. So technically, I guess give him some pain pills and he was good to go, so to speak. And I didn't watch the whole thing, but after it went off air, or I guess after they cut the official stream, Cody did cut a promo saying like he literally would have had to kill me for me not to be in this match, but that's just how much he just loves being in this ring and trying to be the consummate professional and being there when he's supposed to be. There's also maybe a blessing in disguise. So maybe some people like you who weren't really Cody fans, like now is probably going to be the most over babyface on their roster, at least for on the male side, right now, because everyone's like, you may not like him, but you gotta respect him for what he did. Type of this is up there. Definitely up there with when Triple H still wrestled the match. What was it, torn quads or whatever?
He just finished.
Also,
He finished the match. He didn't.
that's what well, I'm just saying. Still, that's. Well, I can't speak for Sans, but that's legit painful. And he was what was he putting the walls of Jericho?
Yep.
While they were torn?
On the announcement table, and he also Triple H also did wrestle at WrestleMania 29 that I went to. That when he came out, like the fog machine has dry ice blowing out, and it actually severely burned him. And I was like, why is his whole body red? He was completely burned. He fought Brock Lesnar in like a no DQ match with all that bruising. That moment.
And then I mean, I think Sting also, after taking a bad buckle bomb and
Yeah.
stuff, still wrestling. So it's like, yeah, it's no stranger for wrestlers to, perform while injured, but we never really got a actual like visualization of maybe how much bruising or something that would be, without it being like, a match in which you physically are bruising that other person. Like we've seen like the red marks or the after pictures on like
Yeah.
Instagram after they've gone through the match, but we never really seen it like in real time while it was happening. I mean, it happened before the match, but like, you know what I mean.
Right.
So that was pretty. That's why I says it's really up there of like the Triple H and Sting. I can't even think of any of the women who might have had something like that, either coming in or.
Well, remember Ronda, the triple threat wrestler
Oh, okay.
during the match.
Okay. So yeah, so it's like definitely kudos and respect. I like you. I'm not the biggest Cody fan, but I respect someone who has love for the business. Because I love wrestling, even though when we give a crap, I still love it, which is why we've been doing this podcast for 10 years almost. No, I'm just kidding. Was it 5?
Yeah.
um, yeah. So yeah, but all in all, the actual match itself was pretty good, and this was definitely the best of the three that they had. But I guess without the other two, we couldn't get this one, so it kind of like built up on each other. I mean, Steph he's kind of foolproof. He can almost do anything, but I do kind of wonder like where does he go from here now? Like you just lost to Cody 3 times in a row. Um, he should be like at the almost at the bottom of the ladder, so to speak, when it
Yeah.
comes to like championship contenders, just because he's lost so much. But he is a weasel. He will weasel his way back up to the top somehow. Um, Especially now that we are this has been a bad week for wrestlers being injured, honestly. I know you don't watch AEW and you're probably proud of this anyway, but Daniel Bryan's injured, but he'll be back in like 2 weeks. Adam Cole apparently is injured. Jeff Hardy got injured, and
See what
CM
happens when
Punk.
see what happens when you're associated with AEW. You get in.
Well, there you go. And then we have Roman Reigns, who's not technically like off. I mean, he is off TV, but it's more like just scaled back so he can be at full form for actual events. Because I don't think he's gonna be away all summer like some people are projecting. Because like you said, the next pay per view is Money in the Bank. Well, I guess they really could if they want to go. What's this? July, August.
He'll wrestle at SummerSlam.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's because that's one of the big four. So yeah, he'll be there, and then he's guaranteed. Well, we can't say guaranteed because you never know what happened. As they always say, cards are just change. But we have that match of him and Drew at is it Clash at the Castle? The pay per view for September that's in the UK.
I'm gonna be even more clueless when I get rid of cable TV because I can't even watch the fast forward. I'll have no idea what's going on. I'll actually have to watch the package.
But yeah, so it's a very interesting landscape right now. A lot of because your couple of your top guys. Oh, Randy's injured, so yeah, a lot of your top guys are either being scaled back so they can heal from a small injury, or they're out for some time because of a major injury. And because WWE hasn't been doing the work on the back end by building up new stars, you're kind of like in a flux of like, okay, well, who's gonna be pushed to step up and be given that top spot? I mean, we still have Drew, we still have Steph, and there's a lot of potential. The roster has they have a really deep roster on the men's side
So
for how they can build people up. But the thing is, they gotta give them the green light to do it.
So this is where remember when I said when before WrestleMania, whatever this was, 38, whatever WrestleMania this past WrestleMania was, 38. Yeah, 38. I think 1 year younger. Anyway, WrestleMania 38. They what they should do. I said prior to the WrestleMania 38 main event, they should give the two titles to Roman Reigns because he carried the company during the pandemic along with Drew and Bobby Lashley and but they mostly Roman Reigns. He's been the champion for like 72 years now. They should give him both belts. They should reward him. Now with all your big stars like injured, like someone like Roman. Well, not Roman's not injured. Reigns is hurt. Seth Rollins should, like you said, be the bottom of the ladder. Cody's hurt. Reward some of those guys who've been working hard. Prime winner of the Money in the Bank. So like Edge has already won it twice or whatever. But he doesn't need to win. But someone like AJ for him to win. Even more importantly, someone like Kevin Owens. These kind of guys who like really stepped up. That should be Sami Zayn. Like these kind of guys.
I really want Sami Zayn to win it just because he will, much like KO, he would definitely make that very entertaining, especially with his whole trying to be a part of the bloodline. He's like, yeah, I got something of importance too to add to this bloodline.
And that
although it would be a contention because he'd be going after Roman
right
anyway.
No, that's the whole angle they could play. Roman could butter him up, be like, you know what, you don't want to cash in now, you don't want to cash in now, you don't want to cash in now, and every week, he'll be like, don't cash in because you're my boy, you're part of the bloodline, It's not like, so it'll be like a work. They're working Sami Zayn. And then eventually, like, Sami Zayn will probably walk into the back and hear, like, Roman talking to Jay and Jimmy saying, like, oh, we got red around the fingers, he's an idiot. And Sami will walk in on it and be like, wait, you guys have been playing me. And he'll get a face turn and they'll beat the crap out of him. And you'll think he's injured and maybe, like, he'll face, like, Rock at WrestleMania and beat The Rock. And then Sami Zayn.
Can you imagine if they let Sami be the one to take the belt off of Roman? I mean, it'd be well deserved because that man puts in work, but the crowd will also be like,
it won't be a clean win. It won't be a clean win because like maybe Rock will go for a handshake and then like Roman will be like, you know what, like you kneel down to me, I'm the head of the table, and that'll piss The Rock off. The Rock will hit a rock bottom, and then Sami Zayn's music will hit, and he'll come out and get the 1-2 because he'll be out of it.
I'm saying either way, if he is the Money in the Bank winner and cashes in after the Mania match with Roman and wins it, like the crowd's gonna go freaking nuts.
But that's a good way of holding that Money in the Bank for a while because they put him in as part of the bloodline, quote unquote. Like they keep playing him and playing him and playing him, and then maybe around Royal Rumble time, they injure him, right? Like they hurt him and like you think he's out of action for like the rest of the whatever. Injure him badly, put him off TV for a while, let him take a well-earned vacation, and then he'll come back at WrestleMania after Roman beats The Rock, thinking it's over for the night, and then Rock goes to the Rock handshake, like I said. Roman clocks him, saying like, no wait, he goes, you kneel to me, and Rock, no, just handshake, man. And then like he hits him, and then they all beat on him. Or no, he doesn't clock him. And then he goes, no, just get away from me, kneel down, and then he hits the Rock bottom, and maybe the people's elbow, and then Sami Zayn comes out and gets him. That'd be
if this ever happens, this fever dream ever happens, it would rival Seth's cash in on Brock and Roman. To me,
I still think the best was Edge. Edge's first ever cash in.
I'm saying it would be on that level. I mean, to me. But yeah, I still do agree. You mean his very first cash in?
Yeah, because like it was like Elimination Chamber. It was on Cena, yeah. At New Year's Revolution, he like won. Cena beat everybody. He went in as a champion. It was like the first time the champion ever walked out of the Elimination Chamber as still champion. And then all of a sudden, like Vince McMahon comes out and goes, "Congratulations, John! Congratulations! You are the first like champion ever to walk out of the Elimination Chamber, remaining champion. But the night isn't over yet." And then Edge's music hit, and he cashes in and gives it to Vince. And Edge runs out and wins the match.
Yeah,
So it wasn't even like a surprise. It was like a
because I always get confused. Because he did it on Cena and then Taker. Like I always get them to flip like on which one was first. But yeah, definitely. Do
yeah
you think we get enough? I mean, they're doing a whole month of Cena. What does this? Did he debut during this time?
maybe.
Oh, okay.
I mean, remember, don't forget they did that for the Rock and Rock didn't show up as Rock. So who knows? But maybe,
I thought Cena's a little bit more
maybe Cena will do it because he's more like you
because
said, he's more
I mean,
available.
Cena actually cut a on Instagram a short like little promo about why you can't see him.
Well, I'm saying is Cena might come back because he's more flexible for schedule wise, and they really need him now. So maybe he'll come back.
Yeah.
All right, we lost you on camera.
Oh, I don't know why.
Wait, maybe let me just.
That always happens. Like
Oh, there
when
we
we're
go.
coming
Now you're back.
in.
There you
Oh, okay.
go. All right, let's close it. So
Okay,
with that said, I guess we can close out the night. Felicia, your low point, your high point, and your overall.
Yeah, I mean, no surprise. That low point is definitely going to be the almost MVP Lashley situation because stop trying to make almost happen. Like fetch, stop trying to make it happen.
Mhm.
It's they the fans don't care. They care about Lashley. They care about MVP. They don't care about almost. And I know they know this. I know they know it. And they're just gonna keep trying to get him over, and it's gonna take a lot. He's gonna have to legit put in the work to get that to happen. High point. I think maybe for the first time, I'm just gonna give it to the overall pay per view um because outside of that match, like every other match had something to like. Even if you don't like some of the build up or maybe a finish or just some parts of a match, all the matches the workers put in work. And so for that I greatly appreciate it because the actual matches outside, like I said, almost actually was great. So my overall grade, I'm gonna give it a C plus. The matches were good to great, nothing terrible. Again, asterisk with Lashley. Um, and but like we were saying this whole time, like the buildup of these things weren't that great outside of Seth Rollins and Cody, and then maybe Judgment Day, and then um those were the two that really had and Madcap Moss and Corbin. Those were the three that had like legit. We've been building this off for a couple of weeks with a payoff. The rest were just kind of felt like filler of we're throwing some sort of story behind it, but like I said, because they put in good work with the matches, it made it a fairly good pay per view. But that's also because my expectations weren't that high either. So that's why it's gonna get the C plus.
Yeah. So for me, the low point, because I didn't really honestly watch most of the review, I was already going into the low point. But the low point for me was probably the Madcap Corbin match. Not that I even watched it, but the fact that it was called a no holds barred match and you recording them not doing any holds that were barred, that automatically get. My high point would have to be the Mustafa Ali Austin Theory match. That was a great match, well put on by both guys. Very, like you said, Austin won cleanly, which is cool. But Mustafa still looks strong, which he deserves, and eventually hopefully gets the win. And then finally, overall grade. Not that I watched most of the review, but hearing about it, all that stuff. I wasn't going in thinking anything, so I was gonna give it an F. But after seeing like the Mustafa Ali match and the Judgment Day versus Bullet Day match, I'm going to give it a C. C. I got it back to C. But I'm probably gonna go back and watch the women's match because that seemed like very what. But that's pretty much it. Delisha, where can we find you, and what have you been up to?
You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Delisha Renee. I haven't been doing much with my YouTube mainly because I'm back at with me being back at work and trying to take care of a child. It's somewhat difficult, but I'm
Gotta
trying to.
choose one, Delisha.
I know, Sage, you're it. I know, but yeah, but I'm really trying to get in some content. Maybe like do like a day of just like batch content and then get it out there. But I'm working on some stuff. Actually, my Instagram reels have been doing pretty good, so maybe I'll stick with that. I don't know. a little bit of short form content in the meantime. But yeah, just look out if whenever I'm putting out a new video, it'll be on my Instagram. I mean on my Facebook too, but I don't really accept people I don't know on Facebook. Also I'm usually just a scroller on Facebook, not a poster. but but yeah, but when there is a new video, you will know about it if you follow me on one of the social media platforms.
All of which are listed in the description below. So make sure they're there. As for me, like I'm not going back to gaming yet. I've got a game that I would stream. If I do anything, like I said, it would be a Genshin summon session, but Genshin hasn't had banners that I really want to wish on yet. So I'll keep doing that. I'll probably tweet them if I do one. Other than that, we'll be back AfterMat for Money in the Bank. I don't know if I still listen to PPV pay-per-view, but for me, I've been there since day one of pay-per-view. So since day one, so I got Bloodline too. I've been there day one where they've been called pay-per-views, so I'm calling pay-per-views AfterMat. So the pay-per-view for Money in the Bank is actually on July 2nd. That's just on July 3rd for AfterMat. Hopefully we're around. I don't know if they have plans, so I would get not, but hopefully she and I are both around to that. Not until then, guys, keep slamming the haters and be the champion of your dreams. See you.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't